All right, so I'm here. It's actually a beautiful day, even though it's like a bit overcast and gloomy. I find it refreshing. I can be out without a coat, feel pretty good. Also, you know what, I've dealt with a lot over this last year. And I think that's what I want to bring up because, you know what, this has to do with just basically the life's journey, soul journey, and what it means. We come across some pretty dark stuff, some of us, right? We have, things happen that can really devastate, destroy us, because others feel they can, basically justify bad behavior and not harming other people, due to their own darkness, really. And it's projecting that darkness on other people in order to try to make themselves feel better. And in the process, what they do is they destroy, or seemingly destroy, innocent people, their lives, their families, right? Doing harmful things. But what I've seen having to go through this, right, and having to deal with such people that, feel that desire to, dive that deep into their darkness and to project that so much on somebody else, right? If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been able to break through my own, right? Because everything's a vibrational match. So even when things are seemingly happening to us, they're really happening for us. So in order to rise into the light, you really have to break through that darkness that is within. Let's say, generational trauma. Trauma that is suppressed and can't be seen. These things have to come forward. And there's always going to be the dual roles, right? The darkness and the light. And it's really deciding, like, which side are you on, right? Are you the darkness or the light? Really, I don't know. I think it's innate. We're all on our own little journeys for whatever purpose. And I know this. Nothing goes without redemption, right? So everything you do, it imprints. It gets passed on to your loved ones. So if you harm somebody, that gets imprinted. And that does come back around. Maybe not directly toward you, but possibly your family and the people around you that you love. They're the ones that end up having to pay that price, right? So it's like, all I feel is this sense of overwhelming forgiveness for, knowing that, so many people have such a dark soul and that they're in that amount of pain that they would want to actually harm somebody that bad, right? And cause that much pain and suffering in their lives. And find a way to justify that, right? And not even take responsibility or come forward and say, hey, when they've literally destroyed somebody. At the same time, it is through that destruction we're reborn, right? How do you choose to deal with the situation? I choose to forgive and bring light into it and know that it's not mine. There's no retaliation coming from me. I'll just let them all know. And because I don't have to, it's karma, right? When it's meant to be paid back, it is. I know that where I'm standing, I was able to break through all that and finally break free of a very, difficult life that I've had to live, right? A lot of things go wrong. There's been a lot of struggle and pain and really not understanding why or where it was coming from until this, right? This really brought me down into it and made me face, a lot of things that I couldn't face before, right? And really, I was brought out of the situation. My consciousness wasn't even there. I only know what happened because it's muscle memory, right? The mind and the body was still there. So you can hear the voices, you re-experience it over and over. Everything in life around you plays out the scenario and shows you exactly. But at the same time, it's done in such a way that you can handle it, right? Your consciousness, it wasn't there. It's the body that needed to release that damage, not the soul, right? Because that's not my soul's karma. So I wasn't even a part of it. My body had to go through it so I could re-enter. See, in order to re-enter, you have to remove the darkness. And people have to play those roles for you, right? Which they're playing their own roles because they have that karmic debt, right? And then and we make a choice. Are we going to continue down that dark hole and continue blacking out our own soul? Or are we going to rise above and make different choices? Because this all does play out always. everything has to play out again until it's healed and dissolved, right? So that's the way karma works, is it imprints and it replays to the closest vibrational match, which either brings directly to the person or their loved ones, because it imprints within every strand of DNA that resides. So that's also friends and family and everybody around you, because they're there because they're a vibrational match to you. And I'm bringing this up because, this last year has been something. Whatever, this that happened, I went into full-blown psychosis, had to be strapped down and, brought to, sedated, all right? It traumatized my children. Like, it was pretty bad. And I've had to work through all the lies and stuff of like my own mind. It's pretty heavy, but it also completely saved my life. So that's it. It's like, thank you for freeing me and enslaving yourselves through that kind of hate. It's pretty dark, but I'm here to say, whoever you are, I mean, people in general going through life, when darkness does fall upon us, understand that's where light is born. So don't fall into it. Release it, right? It's there for a reason. We got to face the dark, right? As hard as it is, we've gone through so many generations of so much pain and suffering. It's really realizing, especially some of us that know, we came in here to dissolve the generational trauma, not our own, right? We came in here specifically to do this, and that's why we can rise above it and understand it. Like, I understand exactly where their pain comes from, because that's everything that was projected onto me. And I understand that had to be projected onto me because that resided within me and kept me imprisoned, all my life in this dark, harm, always harm befalling me. And now all I see is light, like everything's coming in because all that suppressed stuff came forward, right? And yeah, I understand what the lies were because they don't even make sense. I can hear them talking. It's pretty wild. And when you experience such a severe trauma, and you don't even remember, and yet it's playing itself out, it takes a while to sort all that stuff out. It like literally drove me to insanity and like the destruction of my life. But again, like I said, that's rising up back from the ashes, right? You have to be destroyed in order to be reborn. And the darkness, it plays that role, right? It is through that darkness that you rise. So don't fear it. Don't fear the darkness. And the ones that need to fear are the ones that are already living in that, right? The ones that feel the desire to project that amount of pain onto another individual. And in the end, like, I've never been better. I feel so much joy within me, like so much release and so much just relief of that freedom, feeling that freedom. I wake up in the morning, I'm actually excited. I've never been excited. I've never been happy, and I feel happy and joyful. And it's not because of anything happening in my life, it's just me. I wake up and it's like, yeah, I can do this. And I've been chronically depressed and unhappy my entire life. And now I'm smiling and it's genuine. I said it by myself and I'm smiling because it's genuine. So the reason why I'm sharing this is because I know a lot of people that are suffering and are afraid, and I know how difficult it can be to face these things, especially when people do harm, right? I'm dealing with that even still, like people, they want to victimize themselves, they want to dramatize, they want to demonize and make it everybody else's fault. We don't have to take that on, not as a soul, not as a human being. We don't have to. We don't have to be responsible for everybody else's pain. We can let it go. Even when it is projected onto us, we don't have to attach to that. We don't have to accept it. We can rise. We can rise. And once we do, the dark can't touch. You really do rise beyond it. There is a higher natural law. And when you rise into that higher natural law, that's divine law. There's nothing that can touch you there. You release yourself from any jurisdiction, like there's no jurisdiction over you when you are living in that natural law. And really understanding that it's divine. And, that's end game right there. Because you're free. And your life is whatever you create it to be. Whatever character you choose to be, whatever life you want, you need to own it. You need to be responsible. You need to understand that everything reflecting back to you is yours, not theirs. And that's how you also can see that it's not something being done to you, it's something being done for you. And what do you need to see in order to free yourself from that? I think, and I hope this message reaches the right people, because, man, I've been through some hell. I really have. And I feel amazing. I've never felt better. And, I feel love in my heart. I feel love entering in my life. I feel success and so many things on so many levels that, reestablishing relationships with my children after that, that really kind of rocked our worlds. They didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. Even gripping my son, I was in so much fear, right? Like my body was shaking. I was crying. I grabbed a hold of my 23-year-old son. And he's not understanding what's going on with me. I'm not understanding because I didn't know what had happened. So here it is, right? And I know the right people will hear it. And in me, they will. They'll get the message because it all comes back around, right? I don't have to do anything. And I'm pretty happy about that too. So all I send out there is love, love and peace, because it is coming, it's here, just accept it and allow things to be as they are, because outside of you, you don't have any power and control, but that's okay. You have power and control over you, your life, the character you choose to play, the choices you make, all the steps you make, right? Those are your options, those choices. My advice is always focus on self-love, bring in more and more of that into your own heart, and that's naturally going to be reflected back to you. It's in the day-to-day stuff. It's not about escape. It's not about finding it. It's in the everyday. It's in doing your dishes, right? That's an act of self-love, because that's how you eat, you feed yourself off, you eat off those dishes. So in every little act you do, view it as an act toward yourself, a self-love. You're caring for yourself, and you should. You do matter, your life matters, and be responsible and take care of yourself. And then love will naturally come, right? And anything that needs to dissolve, allow it, right? I'm only sending love and good vibes to everybody, and have a great day.